No, wrong thingy. Oh yes. Okay, here we go. Awesome. It's connected. All right. 3, 2, 1. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Devil's Cellar. Here, directly from the only place, the Devil's Cellar, of course. We're gonna play you a special today of many things that you're gonna surprise with. We got a great selection of music, especially dedicated to black metal music, since we got the Emperor's visit this upcoming weekend. So enjoy it. Visit kick.com/The Devil's Cellar and youtube.com/The Devil's Cellar. Enjoy. And there we go, like with our first 4 tracks for tonight, actually, that I wanted to introduce to you guys. Thank you for checking out Nocturnal Rituals. What I meant to say earlier, like a welcome to Nocturnal Rituals Metal Podcast, not to the Devil's Cellar, because you're not here at the Devil's Cellar. This is an online event, and I don't want anybody here at the moment. Simple as that. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for checking out Nocturnal Rituals Metal Podcast with all the black, death, doom, thrash, extreme, power, groove, heavy, rock, metal, and yada yada yada. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m. with DJ Nocturne, A.K.A. Rodrigo, Jugulator, Raquio. Anyways, here I am introducing some. We're gonna do a special of a black metal, symphonic, whatever, like a kind of a metal, okay? But kind of it's gonna be mainly dedicated because this Friday coming up, actually, Emperor is coming to play Toronto, and of course he's doing a tour in North America, which is gonna stop in other different cities out there. And of course, don't ask me what all the cities are gonna ask. I just take care of my territory here, basically. So that's what I do. And I wasn't planning to go first, and everything came because. When I saw the tickets went for sale, I go, yeah, for sure it's going to sell out. Like Emperor, come on. Like kind of a Godfathers of Black Metal, if you want to say, or whatever title they have at this point. Because, the guys say they had a very good run in their years when they were releasing albums. That's right, they're not coming with anything new. Apparently, they are giving a package deal for something like for a vinyl with unreleased tracks. That's going to be for those VIP members, the ones that they pay $300 to $400 in order to meet the band and greet them and get the pictures and yada yada and get the fuck out of here kind of thing. And I think like myself, where if you know me well, I never had to pay the artist to meet them or to shake their hand or basically get their autograph or anything like that. So I don't agree with that, okay? But of course, the music industry has its ways always to extract money possible from people, and of course manage ways for the musicians to exploit them in any way possible, and of course they take lots of any way possible, like a kind of a, in order to access to your money, like a kind of, they do anything and everything possible. So the different things how they do it, right? Anyways, the thing is, they're coming to play to town, right? So they have these VIP tickets, and they have like these face value tickets. And one of my friends, big shout out to John Chalmers, actually, like the ancient one. My buddy actually decided to post on Facebook like a kind of a, hey, is anybody interested on a ticket for an extra ticket for Emperor? And I contacted him right away while I wasn't actually, of course, going to pay such amounts of money of $300 to $400 for the VIP thing, because that's what it was actually listed in one of the concerts, actually, like in one of the sites that they supposed to give you like a tickets on discount. So whatever you can find basically provides you like some discount or something. And it was about going for about $430. That was the last ticket available basically online. And the thing is, when my friend posted the status update, he said to me like he basically had a group of people going for this Friday for the concert, but one of them actually like pulled out from it. So cannot really actually like make it to the show, so had the extra ticket for sale. And I say, okay, how much you want for it? And I scored it for face value, which it was the original price at $100, which is not bad. So when you have connections, you know, you have access to different things. So I pay for my ticket, and that's all reserved for Friday. That I'm gonna make it to the show. And of course, like I'm looking forward to meet many people that I have known over the years. As you guys remember, of course, like if you know me a long time, like a kind of I just didn't pop up out of nowhere to be cool here or anything like that. I have my history in fucking metal as well. And this is not to brag or anything like that. But the way I say it is because like some people, sometimes they think they can just come out of nowhere and they make a name for themselves out of things and all of that. No, like kind of I build my own name basically. Like, but by doing things that I participated in, things in actual facts, things actually like kind of I used to work for 10 years for Inertia Entertainment, and kind of basically it's the same company that is bringing Emperor over and bringing Blood Incantation as well as openers for the show. So at the same time, like a kind of I remember when I came to Canada, Emperor came in year 1999 here to Toronto. And the thing is that I couldn't actually make it to the show because I was new in the country. At the time, I didn't speak any English, and I was trying to get familiar with what was going on in Toronto and all of that, right? So it took me a few months actually to get used to the whole thing and how to travel on my own, like to move around basically in the city and become more independent and attend to the events that I want to attend, right? So the thing is, yeah, like for many years I wore my, somewhere around here, where I wear as a pajama, like kind of I have my Emperor long sleeve shirt or the same Anthems to the Working at Dusk that I bought back in Chile in year 1997. But at the same time, like this one that I have here is a new, where it's a renewed version, if you want to say, like in a better condition, same t-shirt but in better conditions, that actually my friend Martin Drotz from Protocult and Ape God, he actually he gave to me that we did a trade like not so long ago, like for t-shirts, and basically this t-shirt was coming along the way, and I say, there's no way I'm selling this at my shop. I'm gonna freaking replace the current one that I have. So the thing is, the other one I wear as a pajama, and this is the one that I wear to basically like to go out, and I'm gonna head to the show and all of that on Friday. So yeah, pretty much that, like a kind of something that I wanted to share with you guys. Basically, like a kind of what I'm wearing today is because like we're gonna be playing some Emperor, of course, like music, and I'm playing a lot of like different black metal bands that they go along the same way that they inspire. They got inspired by this whole movement and everything going on, and back and forth, and to check out like stuff that we haven't seen before in the previous episodes at all. So if you're attending this show on Friday, I look forward to see you guys, and I'm gonna spend also like probably a whole weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna spend the whole long weekend over there. Possibly, oh no, the long weekend is after. Never mind. I'm gonna spend the 3 or 4 days over there in Toronto, basically like just to catch up with friends, visit family, relatives, and all of that, and other friends around, and of course, I have a good time because I think I deserve it because of all the work that I have been doing around and all of that. Why the hell no, right? So I need to treat myself too. And this is the way I'm going to treat myself, by going to a concert that I haven't been in a while. and I'm gonna get to check one of my favorite bands I never seen before. The joke is, of course, when they're gonna perform, they don't wear the fucking armor as they used to wear the armor like in the imperialized ceremonial times or anything like that. When they play live, it's just like a kind of, it's almost like a kind of, they dress like Harry Potter, if you wanna say. Someone joking around, one of my friends saying, oh, you're gonna go and see Harry Potter and stuff like that. Yeah. So pretty much that, if you wanna say. Joking aside. Whatever. Anyways, so yeah, so we were actually like playing today. We started with some Gehenna from Norway. Of course, a long-time band that actually it's a band that actually I really like them a lot. Like talking to another Chilean friend, he says he wasn't a big fan of it. I'm not gonna say the name because but anyways, I like him. I like him as a person and friend musician as well. But I know I like Gehenna as well. And the thing is, we were playing something from the album Seen Through the Veils of Darkness, which is actually the second spell that was released back in 1995. And I played the first track, the opening track, called Lord of Flies. And as you notice, like basically Gehenna, like it's utter dark stuff, man. Like kind of I mean, if you're not familiar with the band, check them out. There's another band that is kind of like a like proto thrash metal or something like that. I think I haven't actually listened to the other Gehenna, like the other band. I think they're from the same country or something like, which is weird, but this Gehenna is about like the black metal, like a kind of the kind of symphonic and melodic at the same time, but it's really obscure in my own taste too. So it doesn't matter in what category falls onto, it's black metal, okay? And even this is the same band. In a couple of occasions, in 2 albums, they released these albums that they sounded very black death metal and more death metal than the other albums in a way. So just remember, in case of anything, the album Murder and WW, those are the albums that actually they switched the sound around, and then eventually they came back to it, like to catch up with it for whatever was left off from the dark black metal era. Then I played some Dark Funeral from the album Miscus Satanas, like that was released back in 1998, and I played the song Thy Legions Come, which is actually the 3rd track of the album. And at the same time, like I remember seeing Dark Funeral when they introduced Lord Caligula and Lord Ahriman is a guitarist, and then you got like a Caligula, and then you got the Dominion. Caligula was actually the original singer of Hypocrisy on the 1st and 2nd album, right? And then you got what is it? Was in the 2nd album too? Homework. Gotta do that homework part over there to catch up with it. But anyways, also you investigate too. Do your part, okay? It cannot be everything about me. And also the other one that I was going to say that here it goes, a train of thought. What is it? Yeah, so basically, like kind of I got the opportunity to see them live when I just came to Canada. That was some time in the summer of the year 2000 actually that I got to see Dark Funeral perform live. And they had at the time like also the drummer Dominion, who actually had a project called Dominion Caligula with the singer Caligula, bass player of Dark Funeral as well. And then, what is it like? I played some Impaled Nazarene, one of my favorite jams out there, as you know, one of favorite bands. I played the 2nd track of the album Ugra Karma, that was released actually in 1993. I played the song The Horny and the Horn, and you know how brutal these fuckers are. But of course, like a kind of this album, like a kind of when you do the comparison of between the first album that it was the Thor Course North versus the Ugra Karma, is totally different in a switch of change, but I know an extreme change in a way, but it had a very dark feel, like very like a freaking cruel, like a type of thing in the first album, like fucking demonic as fuck, right? Where you see the freaking Satan like tearing pieces apart and kind of like a whole sounds of orgy happens in between the apologias, like the sections that they divide between songs and all of that, right? In the first album. But in this one over here, in a kind of like the Ugra Karma, like a kind of it involves like a more like you can notice more the sound of the keyboards on it, like it tends to make it a little bit more melodic, but it's not fully melodic. It's still like a really fucking brutal and raw. Like a kind of the sound is more polished, but it's still like a fucking heavy as fuck. So if you haven't gotten into this band, like or haven't had the chance to listen to it or that album specifically, Get into it now. And then we play something like from, of course, like kind of I was going to mention from what country they're from, right? We got Gehenna from actually from Norway. Then we got that funeral from Sweden. Then we got Imperial Nazarene from Finland. And then we went all the way to Belgium to check out like the band Ancient Rites. And I played like actually the something from the Blasphemia Eternal that was released back in 1996. And I played the song Quest for Blood, Le Vampire, which is actually the track number 4. As you can see, actually, like they had a very interesting sound, these guys, and they were demonic as fuck, but at the same time, it has this kind of like a folk feeling as well, kind of something very ancestral. Something like where the name is deserving as well. Like of course, to be called the Ancient Rites, it's kind of reviving like a freaking demons from the past as well, which is something amazing and kind of this is a band that I want you to go through. They have a very good extensive discography. Of course, they are not together anymore, or I haven't heard anything for a while from them, which is something I need to verify with the Metal Archive in case of anything, because if you're questioning about something about history or lineups or albums or discographies or anything, reviews and things like that you're looking for, make sure to refer to metalarchives.com, because usually that's where people they go to in order to find information out there. And yeah, pretty much that. Enough of talking for myself, because it's been already half hour that we have gone through a show, and the thing is I had a lot of freaking music to play. But we can always, because it's my show, we can go an extra little time too to fit everything around, right? So why the fuck not, right? So here we go. I'm going to play you something like I'm going to tell you the band, you guess it, and then I type it off. You can see the playlist right on the side. And this music, of course, it gets played only here in Nokturnal Rituals Metal Podcast, only here exclusively at the Devil's Cellar, and you won't hear it anymore. So fuck you if you try to prove me wrong. Enjoy this.
Successva, Sudisa, Uimus, et Mortsubilar, Silitsi, Nufuimesi, Israelis of Vigil. Successva, Sudisa, Uimus, et Mortsubilar, Silitsi, Nufuimesi, Israelis of Vigil.
Alright, in case of anything, yes, I couldn't actually put the title for the last track that I played, but of course I would like to see if any of you who consider yourself so knowledgeable or true black metalers out there, like you kind of know exactly what I was referring to, you will see that we were actually playing some Abruptum. That's right. We were playing the song Corpus in a. That's the part I have the freaking problem pronouncing it. Give me a second. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here. There. Okay. In as Trahere. Abincere. Okay, there we go. Done. Awesome. Cool. Alright, let me see. Alright, so getting back to our segments over here, because as you all know, as you are familiar with my program, it goes every 4 songs, 4 and 4. 4 comment, and we try to play up to like 20 songs in a day, if it's possible, right? So right now, like we have covered so far 1 hour of the show, right? We're going pretty good. Let's carry on with it. What the hell, right? So right now at the moment, what I have played so far, and getting back to it, we started with Absu on the second segment. I played something from the album, from their first release actually. Would it be considered the first release in a way? In a way too, but that was when they have also a different logo as well going on. From Baratrum, Vitriol, and also like a Vitriol is like a kind of a written differently, right? Kind of every letter is separate kind of thing. And I played the 4th track of this album. It's called like the Thrice is Greatest to Ninnigal. And so you can notice actually like a kind of the style like the Absu plays, of course, like a kind of I find these guys are freaking genius maniacs, like in the way how they freaking like the music is not that catchy, easy to listen to. It's complex as hell, right? And one of the things too, like knowing like their singer, who is actually the drummer at the same time, but I think they had a different singer in the beginning as well. Homework again that I gotta do to catch up with it. And the thing is, they are known because they're having a really fast drummer, like the guy Proscriptor, right? Proscriptor actually, like even he auditioned like to play for Slayer back when before Slayer was going to enter to record the album Christ Illusion, right? So that was like in the mid 2000s, right? And he was one of the participants, auditioners for Slayer as a drummer, right? But of course, the Slayer took back Dave Lombardo and they recorded that album called Christ Illusion. So yeah, Absu is an excellent band. Absolute excellent band, for sure. And you guys need to get into their discography. It's nice and extensive as well. And also, like they're from Texas, United States. And yeah, what I was going to tell you about them, find out on your own. Then we jump to Proclamation. Proclamation. Brutal. Fuck. Dark as fuck. Incredible. How basically like a kind of when I introduced this song, like the 5th track of the album Advent of the Black Omen. And basically like I played the song like the 5th track, which is a Crucifixion Vomit. And as you notice, like it's pure darkness, brutality right there. It's like a blackened to the max, like the way it's just played, like it's fucking like it's raw, like it's like those Ross Bay bands, right? Like a kind of like as you can say, like a kind of the style of blasphemy, revenge, conqueror, like all these styles, different bands. So many of them actually. The Black Witchery, they spawn like it's to the masses, like in a way, like kind of this kind of a style, like a raw, it's unmatchable, unique. And I would say actually like definitely a band to check out. They got quite a few albums over there, solid stuff, and they need to basically be studied much more. Then we go with the band Isvind. And Isvind, actually, these are guys who actually I met personally back in year 2012 when I attended the first. It was my first, but it was actually the second Mort taking place in Montreal, the black metal festival that occurs yearly. And when I attended the show, actually, I got the pleasure to party with these guys, which is awesome. See, like a kind of idea, you had to pay a VIP ticket, like to meet these guys or anything like that. We were just interacting outside, hanging out there, like a kind of shooting the shit, like drinking, stuff like that. And then we remain in touch through social media, and until like a kind of a still like a speak like a to two of the guys of the band, still like a kind of a from here and there we trade tracks, send music, stuff like that, share. And like kind of a pretty much cool thing, memories actually that they come back, and sometimes you wish it actually was something like sometimes when I reveal certain things, it sounds almost like it was just yesterday, right? But no, it was a while ago. It was back in November of 2012. And then like I play you something fucking really obscure as well. Like where? Okay, but before like going to Abruptum, who actually many people are familiar with Abruptum, or probably not many people are familiar with Abruptum. Careful there. Isvind actually is a great band. Actually, like it represents like a kind of it stands for its name, for the style of music that they play of black metal. It's cold, it's raw, it's dark. And also, like a kind of I didn't say even like a kind of mention like what song I played. Like, look at me, what the hell's going on? I'm getting too ahead of the game here. Anyways, it's because it's 9 o'clock. Okay, anyways, like a kind of on this screen right here, like I played the song Still Sjel, which is the fourth track of the album Dark Water Steer that was released back in 1996. And what it is with these guys actually like a kind of their performance too. Live performances are great, memorable, and yeah, definitely a band that you want to get into. Like if you like the kind of let's say the true Norse black metal from Norway and stuff like that, they are the band to actually to go and check out. And then we got the Abruptum. Who basically like Abruptum playing like something really fucking sinister. Of course, this is from a split EP that actually was released along with Ophthalmia, which is actually the other band of it, right? As you guys are familiar, like kind of about the alienation of the different groups that they had aside, like Ophthalmia, Von, stuff like that, right? And then kind of I played the first track of the split EP that was released back in year 2004. I played the song Corpus in as Trahere Abincere, if you want to say. So yeah, and the thing is, like when I play this track, of course, you can see like it kind of it starts with a whole like a like satanic ceremonial, obscure thing, like a chanting, like a monks chanting, or more like a kind of a sounding almost trying to portray the devil's voice, if you want to say something like a really obscure, right? And yeah, pretty much it's something definitely you need to get into. Abruptum is still considered one of the freaking scariest and darkest bands out there so far that have existed on the black metal industry. But of course, like to think about it or make comments like that, sometimes how other people classify them or other pages out there, like they tend to classify certain bands. You know what? This is not a freaking competition. We are here to share the love of music, and that's the important thing about it. And yes, and the hatred for it as well, of course, like because the love of hatred or anything, whatever you want to say about like a metal music, whatever we feel at the moment flowing, right? Anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Of course, like every time I'm introducing songs, I like to share a little piece of information. You take care of finding out the rest. I'm just trying to give you some lead points for you to study more music out there of what we're trying to study here. And of course, I cannot play you anything and everything out there because it's really hard to cover every single thing in a couple of hours. Where I have the power to extend the time, still it means like a kind of we leave the homework for another day, right? You cannot just simply know everything. So that's why we're here to share information, and whatever things, critics, or anything like that you want to say, like or recommendations you have, please send it over, and they're more than welcome before they go to the trash, of course. Like if it's something mean that you're gonna send to me, it's gonna go directly to the trash, and I'm gonna say, fuck you, eat shit, motherfucker. This is not metal at all. Anyways, we're going to continue with the show here. We're going to play you something like a really exclusive that you're not going to hear every single time around here. And this is one band that actually was kind of forgotten in a while that I almost went like, shoot, in my repertoire. Kind of it went a little bit like a far ahead or something. So here we go. I'm not going to tell you right now who it is, but surprise, surprise. Only here on Nokturnal Rituals Metal Podcast. Enjoy. All right. So I basically like a kind of a, as you notice, this song by Agathodaimon. It's actually taken from the album Black in the Angel that was released back in 1998, and it was actually like their second album, pretty much. And what happens is I play the song like a Near Dark, which is actually the third track of the album. But the song alone actually goes for about 15 minutes and a half. So that's why kind of I say to myself, okay, usually when I play music, the songs, all of this, they go anywhere around 3 to 4 minutes or so. Then I was doing the maths, I go, well, that's a long track, of course. It's a great track, like it kind of to really give it that long of time for it, and also being one of the songs of a full length. It's a 15 minutes and a half. Well, that would be, if you divided it in 4, that would be actually 4 songs already that I would have played. So it doesn't mean that we're ending the show. It's just like we completed a segment right there, basically, with that length of the song itself. Okay, so hopefully you get me. The reason why I'm doing this is just to be fair for everything I'm introducing around, right? But anyways, we're gonna continue with the show. We still got like 40 minutes to go. This is Nokturnal Rituals, a metal podcast. By the way, I just want to clarify something. Because there are some people out there that, of course, they have like a wrong perception or like a wrong idea about black metal music, especially. No, all black metal is basically like based on the whole politics of being right wing or anything like that. I'm not making a stand for anybody like here or anything like that, but I just trying to say to you guys that you gotta understand that basically whatever it is, like kind of I'm here for the music, and I kind of they say sadly sometimes like kind of there's an important saying that many times when you get to know the person behind the artist, it can be a total different reality compared a total perspective, right? And you don't know what people like influence them like to really create like what they create. It can be something wonderful, but behind that person, there must be someone really tortured deep inside or something. You never know. I don't want to actually get deep into this whole thing, but seriously, like kind of like the music that is out there, you know, like a kind of whatever is played, like you listen to it, you enjoy it, you take it to heart, whatever it is, you follow it, whatever it is, you supported it. Myself, my task as a metal podcast, as a locutor, like a radio host, I actually like to break the barriers of the everything around, and basically this is nothing based with politics or religion or anything like that. Like fuck them all of the things, whatever you stand, like for me it doesn't go along that line, all right? So just want to clarify that. In case of anything, someone saying like, oh, like a kind of I don't know this band, probably they're fucking Nazi or shit like that, or get to know, like, you know what, like a lot of people, they make up their mind for whatever thing, like for whatever thing, and I could care less, man, like kind of this thing I do it even though for no money and stuff like that. I do it like just because I'm passionate for music, and there's a lot of music that I enjoy, and sometimes many of them, metal in the end is supposed to be fucking mean anyways, like for any way possible, like, and don't get me started, but I have my point. Actually, this is my fucking radio show. I play whatever the fuck I want, and there are some bands that probably you might dislike or you might have an opinion of them, but I don't freaking care. So there's your freaking warning, just in case, like, because some of the bands that I can play like a kind of whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna play them. But I just telling you, like this thing, like just I don't like to get into whole controversial shit of anything, all right? So this be stated by me for all of you who are listening to the radio, okay? I don't give a fuck about anything. I have my own life and little world to live in. I enjoy music very much. And whatever it is, fuck your religion, fuck your politics, fuck yourself if you really base everything based around that. If your life is based on everything like that, basically, fuck you too. Okay, like, so I don't fucking care. I'm gonna play the music, you like it or not. This is Nokturnal Rituals Metal Podcast with DJ Nocturne, A.K.A. Rodrigo, Jugulator, Raquio. Enjoy it or go and fuck yourself. All right, there we go with another segment of a pure blasphemy, if you want to say. Ah, yes, Sundays, so relaxing. Of course, the brutality can never lax in any way possible, especially with Nocturnal Rituals Metal Podcast. Myself, I'm trying to keep it steady every Sunday from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. But because I'm going to be gone to Toronto to go and see the show of Emperor the next weekend, actually on Friday, this Friday coming up, I'm going to go and spend a couple of days over there visiting family, friends, and relatives, and everything. I'm going to be around in Toronto, basically, especially to check out this show. Once again, kudos to John Chalmers for actually reserving that ticket for me. And I really appreciate it. Fucking, let's go and have a blast. We're going to meet at a bar before, to get the ticket, and we can be able to go and have more fun and blast, at the show, of course. So yeah, what I play right now at the moment, as I say to you, I divided in different segments, and of course one of them, it seemed one whole song took 15 minutes and a half for it. So I'm gonna start listing what exactly I played, and I started with Immortal, with the song Triumph, first track of the album Damn in Black that was released back in year 2000. Pretty badass album actually, and that was a. Okay, the dispute is here of what I'm trying to recall so far between the Heart of Winter or Damn in Black. Which album exactly? And this is a questionnaire for you guys, homework for you to do as well. Can anybody clarify when was the first time Immortal introduced solos? So in case of anything, remember that question. When did Immortal introduce solos? In which album exactly? So I'm going to do my investigation and you guys do yours. But for the next program, which is actually I might have to, I was thinking, should I pre-record it or should I do it a day after? Or I have a special program that basically is going to cover a few more hours or something, because I don't want to prolong things also because I get tired, okay? Earlier today, I was actually doing a broadcast of how I play video games and stuff like that, and I broadcasted it for about more than an hour or so. But it's me playing the King of Fighters video games and all of that, or GTA 5 or anything like that, right? On my YouTube channel. And the thing is, what I'm doing is, I was doing this experiment with the PlayStation 5 that I can actually go and stream directly to the YouTube channel instead of using Twitch, because I don't want to do anything to do with Twitch. And that's the reason why also when I do the podcast here, I do it with the kick.com, because they don't put any restrictions to me when it comes to the music. So I'm glad about that. And what I want is actually for the show, before getting back to the list that I'm showing to you guys, I trying to see, I'm going to figure out actually how I'm going to do it for the next show, because what happens, I'm going to be gone, right, for a few days. And I'm not going to be here on Sunday night. So I'm going to try to program something or prepare a playlist for you guys to enjoy and stuff like that. And basically, you just follow it and give you any updates or anything. But myself, I need to treat myself. I need to go actually to a show. It's been a while that I haven't been in a concert, and I'm going to go in this special occasion with one of the bands, like Emperor, I grew up listening to them, when I especially started to get really into the whole metal thing, right at the age of 16. And 15, 16, I would say, right? And it's about time to see one of my heroes who inspired me musically as well. And yeah, after that, basically, what I played a Keep of Kalessin. I played something from the album Armada, which is actually was released back in year 2006. Actually, that was the time when I got to, in year 2007 was about the time that I got to really know about Keep of Kalessin. And I played the fourth track called Vengeance Rising. And I really enjoyed their music, actually for what they're doing and stuff like that. I hope they carry on strong, these guys, because for what they had in their first release, Through Times of War, and compared to that time, where Through Times of War was released in year 97, 98, sometime like that, And then like for what they had later on in year 2006, it was a big musical difference, kind of like it was a big change in the whole thing, in the game that they carry. So definitely a band that you guys should check it out, and of course like a kind of they fall in the genre of black metal music. Then we got Dodheimsgard. Speaking of experimental bands that they evolved impressively, right? Like a kind of a musically and all of that. Dodheimsgard, I had the chance to see them like 2 years live, 2 years ago, when I went to Mr. Mort's, which one was it, 11? 13? Something like that. Anyways, that was 2 years ago. And the thing is, when I got the chance like to actually see them live, like their performance, like of course it was magical in a way, and also especially like how they in the evolution of music as well, they kind of went a little bit Pink Floyd too, like kind of with their last release. But of course I play you something like from the classical era, like kind of them how they got to became known. From year 1995, I play you something from the Cronet till Conge, if you want to say. The second track, Slakte Gud. So I forgot to freaking find the translation for it. But anyways, kind of you figured it out. I wrote it over there, okay? You can search it yourself too. Don't expect me to translate everything for you. But yeah, pretty much that. Like a kind of like a band that had like a lot of great evolutions going on, like musically. So kind of definitely something that you want to get more into their long discography that they have been going. They have been around for more than 30 years already. Then we got I play Peste Noire, and that's the reason why I gave you the warning earlier, because of course this is a controversial band as well, one of the many controversial bands that you see out there, right? But don't hate the player, hate the game, okay? That's how it is, the whole thing. Like when you are listening to this kind of music as well, you are exposed to a lot of things that sometimes it doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything, but sometimes like a certain sound, so they go, okay, that's interesting, what the hell, give it a pass. But at the same time, like a kind of you decide if it's acceptable or not, whatever they believe or not. Like a kind of the whole fact, put it this way, if you want to get like really into the fucking underwear of people, like kind of you're on your own if you want to deal with their shit. Just put it that way, okay? So that's the only thing I'm gonna say, all right? It's the same thing, like kind of myself, I'm known to be a very personable, nice guy, approachable and stuff like that, but some people, when they push the wrong buttons on me, they get to find like a freaking nasty motherfucker that I even dislike myself. So just to put it that way, don't fuck with metal music, don't fuck with metal musicians or metal fans or anything like that. Don't fuck with anything related to metal when it comes to that, all right? If you know someone like a kind of they have certain limits or something like that, don't fucking push their buttons unnecessarily or anything like that. Whatever it is, and whatever it is, if you want to deal with the shit, get more input that thing. Or some people, they like to fucking like play, they like to play with fire, let's say. Let them play with fire, okay? They're on their own and stuff like that. But don't involve everybody like onto the same fucking circle or bucket, like for in the pile of shit or anything like that, whatever it is, all right? So excuse-moi, motherfuckers here, alright? But seriously, I got a fucking important point. I got a life going on and stuff like that, and everything, like I got like something like a wonderful over there. I myself, I like to keep my hands clean of everything as possible, okay? Call me hypocrite, but that's how it is basically. As you see me performing right now, as it is like kind of just don't fucking push my buttons in anything. Alright, back to the point here. Peste Noire, so controversial band, of course, from France. I played the song Le Mort Jux, if you I got to ask Francois after, my buddy Francois from Black Scorn, actually, who is coming to visit me in a few hours, to see if actually like kind of I pronounce it right or not. But the meaning of it means like the Grateful Dead. And that was from the album called La Sanier de Conchetumare, kill me now, like I'm pronouncing like in French. Panegyrique de Generensen or something like that. Anyways, it's the album from year 2006, okay? Don't expect me to freaking pronounce everything like out there. I speak already 2 languages. What else? You can ask me for everything, okay? Like for everything and anything, all right? Simple as that. But anyway, so that's exactly what I got over there, like so far that I played and everything. And of course, like there's each band, it has a distinctive sound, as you notice, right? And yeah, pretty much that, like a kind of what I had, like that I was playing right now at the moment. And yeah, like what is what else? No, we're gonna go to the last section actually to finish the show right now, and this is what I'm gonna leave you like the last few tracks actually of the thing. I'm a little bit confused here. What the fuck happened? Oh, I see. I see what the fuck happened here. Like everything got in fucking disorder here. What the fuck? How? No, I didn't have it like this. For crap's sakes. Anyways, I was going to play you guys like something else here. Oh my god, I hate when this happens. Seriously, I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hate it. No, I didn't have it in disorder. I pressed the wrong button. That's what happens to me for talking so much. Anyways, I'm gonna play you here like some music here like for you guys to enjoy. Here you go. Fucking enjoy here on Nokturnal Rituals Metal Podcast. Alright, I put this section in order and then I say goodbye and fuck you all.
If it's Alma, Timaya, Boy, it's an Ahai, Sanaya. Erik, the Dodheimsgard, Alibus, Aima, Idada, was the Balais, avoiding Alans and taking Nakda, Nakstana.
All right, and there we go with the last segment that we have for tonight for this episode of Nocturnal Rituals Metal Podcast with DJ Nocturne, A.K.A. Rodrigo, Jugulator, Raquio. Here bringing you some stuff that is obscure, underground, here and there, this and that, right? Trying my best to cover different things, whatever I have access to, right? So anyways, I'm going to mention about the bands that actually I just played in the last segment. I played some Revenge. Of course, like a kind of I played the song Retaliation, Fallout Prayer, right? What is like a kind of which is actually like of course, I like the consistency of this band. It's incredible. How consistent it is, like a kind of that raw sound, of course, and knowing where these guys come from, especially where they started to produce that kind of sound, right? As I mentioned earlier about like a Ross Bay Records, like a Ross Bay area, like a kind of this movement of where bands like a Blasphemy, Conqueror, Revenge, they are all involved in this, right? And kind of you get to see the way Conqueror had a specific sound, how they call it, the war metal stuff, like war black metal or anything like that, right? And then like they start like a kind of a making it like a very like that nasty sound, the production of it, like a kind of, you would think, oh, it's low quality or something like that. No, it's just like a kind of a, it's minimal, but it's fucking like a kind of a so powerful yet so like a kind of a striking the way it is. One of the reasons why they call it war metal as well, right? And you got that basically, like a kind of the result, you got Revenge. And even the last production of Revenge, like a kind of that came out like last year, damn, still like a kind of the way they preserve things. It's almost like Dark Throne for the many years that they try like to preserve like a steady sound, like a production type, right, of things. And plus, speaking of Dark Throne, like a kind of course, they came out with something new, right? But as I say to you guys, like a kind of when I try to play certain music, I don't try to play like what's new out there only. Like I like to revisit things from the past here and there, right? And kind of like you just simply, within 2 hours, you cannot just play everything, all right? So I try to do my best possible to cover different bases here and there, but at the same time, it's impossible. I mean, if I can extend the show, sure, like I would do it, but at the same time, like I got my own things to do, you know, like a kind of I got my time like to study or research more music, right? But all I can say is like a kind of I try to play you things that they're kind of like exclusive at the same time, right? And Revenge is for being one of those bands, not only because they're Canadian, but also they have an exclusive sound, right? And a signature for the style of music that they carry, especially in Rose Bay area, how they call it, right? And yeah, pretty much that. Like a kind of then like I went to another band, like the Ukrainian band called Drugs, right? Like which is actually I started to get familiar with their music, like I would say the past couple of years, but I kind of like I knew about them before. I was aware of them, like of their existence and all of that, right? But at the same time, like kind of I started to get to know more about the music like in the latter years, basically. Yeah, so pretty much I played the track, The Eternal Sun. And yeah, pretty much a long track of 7 minutes, right? Like a pretty like a solid stuff that what they produce as well, right? And a very like a kind of a pagan folk style, more oriented, more than just a pure black metal or anything like that. Then I played Emperor. I played the second track of the album Anthems to the Walking at Dusk, the one that I'm wearing, right? The thing is, I played the song, the Entrance Perium, right? And basically, like I say, you can see like the sound like that they were developing. These guys, a band that actually they release so many. They have solid releases, but at the same time, each one of them provided a certain evolution in music, especially in the growth of black metal music, right? Especially for the Norwegian black metal movement going on, right? So yeah, there you go. I'm gonna get to see actually how the songs really sound live when I'm there, right? I've seen like the videos of a performance, live performances of Emperor, but at the same time, when you're right in front of the band, and you are basically witnessing a live concert, it's a different total thing. It's a total different experience, right? So there's no competition to it, right? Unless if you have like a home theater sound type of thing going on in your place, and you can just sit over there and you can rock on to all the songs or something like that of a live concert, whatever it is, right? It would never be the same, for sure. So thanks once again to John Chalmers for getting me that ticket. I really appreciate it. I didn't even ask for it. I wasn't looking forward to go to the show. It came up out of nowhere. I said to myself, you know what? If I'm going to go and see a show, this is going to be the one I'm going to go and check out. And then it came out just like that, basically. Very cool. And then to finish the section, of course, I was talking not so long ago, a couple weekends ago, to my friends from Ejecutor. As you guys know, the band Ejecutor is actually my buddies who actually they came a couple of years here, like to play in Canada, like in Toronto. And at the same time, like these guys, they get invited to a lot of festivals, right? It's a 3-piece band, of course. They has members of Insurrection, and also it has members of Slothbats as well, right? So they are originally from Chile, and the thing is from my own country, and at the same time, I was playing their first track from their new release from 2026, which is called Medium, La Daga de la Iniciación. Like, it's like a medium, the medium, if you want to say, like the initiation's dagger kind of thing, right? So basically, like, as you can hear there, like, especially in the first track, it's shown actually like I always talk about like each culture, each country out there, like a kind of when it comes to metal music, let's say the metal culture music, okay? Each country has a certain portrayal representation, a signature, if you want to say, about like how they sound like. These guys, they have their own signature as well. Kind of like, if you notice some of the riffing style, like a kind of a very 80s style, like a kind of a something that they preserve, like from bands that actually they have actually gone through the conquest of finding their own sound and stuff like that. And kind of you find it right here in the first track that we hear over there. You can find the definition or like the type of riffing that they do in freaking in Chile as well, right? So yeah, so that gives you an example. Make sure to check it out. The album is available on YouTube, but as well, if you want physical hard copies, you go and contact the band directly, and it has all the information of it. You can actually get the formats, the physical copies through the labels Chaos Records, Morbid Ways to Die, and Apocalyptic Production. So make sure that actually you check it out. This great black and death thrash metal, however you want to call it. To me, like, fucking these guys, they are glorious. And I asked them actually, because they came to Mexico actually to play this past Thursday for a festival, along with the band Aberration, and also with Wrath Prayer, which is actually Aberration. They are from Norway, but also the executor was coming with Wrath Prayer, which is actually from Chile as well. And what happened that I asked them, hey, guys, want to come over to Canada again or something like that. But actually, they're not going to come this time. They're going to actually hopefully come the next year. So I'm looking forward to that, because especially at my place, I can be able to host them, as my place is much bigger now and everything is more expanded. So yeah, like kind of I'm willing to welcome them here and get trash out and drunk out, pissed drunk or anything like that, like whatever it is, like a party on, like a just pure metal way, actually, the way we party in Chile. So it's kind of like that's exactly like we will do the next time they come and visit. So you guys know for sure you are in for something really fucking evil right here. Well, it's time to go, because we went for about like almost like 2 hours and a half anyways, but I don't count the time, doesn't matter. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to listen to music, to all the stuff that I play. As I say to you, myself, I'm like this. I play music. I fucking love music in general, whatever it is. If someone got beef about like the views of someone like or something like that, that's not on my fucking thing. I'm not religious. I'm not into politics, shit like that. Fuck all of them, because they haven't done fuck all for me to be in my personal life. They haven't done anything for me at all. So I do things on my own, like for my own drive, whatever it is. So that's called being independent, So here we go. Like I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to Nokturnal Rituals Metal Podcast. My name is Rodrigo Jugulator Raquio, A.K.A. DJ Nokturne. Make sure to actually, like as I say always, tell your friends, share the music. I do the live stream on kick.com/thedevilcellar, but if you need to view all the past episodes, including this one, you just go to youtube.com/thedevilcellar. And also you're going to see all my podcasts and my music and everything and all of that, like everything is archived over there on their YouTube channel. So because in kick.com, it disappears just like that after a month. So basically that's the reason why I back up every single program that I have. So thank you so much. Stay heavy, stay metal. Looking forward to the ones, if you're going to make it to Emperor, come and say hello and stuff like that. And yeah, like I'm going to be saying hello around. And I'm going to spend the weekend in Toronto. All right, so love you all. Take it easy. Stay heavy, stay metal. Let's rock. Good night.